You guys absolutely love the curries on the channel and it's been a while since I've done one, and obviously the meal prep series is doing well, so why not combine the two to create a fantastic delicious dish that you can have throughout the week or place it in the freezer for a later date. The ingredients are pretty similar to something I've done in the past. Obviously I'm going to change it up for the meal prep series, but as for the ingredients, we're going to need boneless and skinless chicken thigh, canned tomatoes, coconut oil, garlic, ginger and onion, a whole load of different spices, coconut milk and some rice, and obviously seasoning to taste. I'll also leave all of the nutritional values in the description as well as in the video, so other than that, let's get straight into it. Please sit back, relax and enjoy.
Alright, we're going to start this off by making a spice mix for the curry, so place a pan over medium-high heat and add in 2.5 tablespoons or 15 grams of coriander seeds, 1.5 tablespoons or 10 grams of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons or 5 grams of fennel seeds, and 1.5 teaspoons or 3 grams of fenugreek seeds. This can then be toasted for 2 minutes, mixing it regularly, just until it starts to crackle and become golden, then add in 4 cardamom pods, with this one not wanting to go in, and 5 whole cloves, then just continue toasting for 1 minute, which will get the best flavour out of the spices, and with that done, you'll end up with this fragrant mix that can be left to cool slightly. In the meantime, the ingredients for the gravy or sauce are 2 small brown or yellow onions that can be sliced in half, and with both the onions just thinly slice them, doing so in the half moon position, and when you get to the other side just push it down to lay it flat and continue slicing safely. Next we can grate 4 garlic cloves and 35 grams or 1.2 ounces of peeled ginger on a microplane to create a paste, and these two can be mixed together. Then I'm going to swap out my chopping board to the one I dedicate to chicken, to which we are going to need 1.2 kilos or 2.6 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh, and dice this into large even sized pieces. You can also leave this whole if you prefer, which I'll leave a note about in the description. Going back to the spice mix, add it into a spice grinder or mortar and add in 1.5 teaspoons or 4.5 grams of ground turmeric, half a teaspoon or 1.5 grams of chili flakes, which are optional, and 1 small cinnamon stick. You can also add in 6 curry leaves too if you have them. Let's then place on a lid or grab your pestle and grind to a smooth powder, which is a blend of earthy, warm, floral, sweet and spicy flavours and aromatics that works so well with what we're going to do next. And what you should have is something that looks like this. To get straight into cooking, place a large high-rimmed pan over medium-high heat and add in 1 tablespoon or 25 grams of coconut oil, which can be substituted for other oils, allowing it to melt and become hot. Then add in the diced chicken thigh, doing so in batches, and sear for 3 minutes on each side, hitting it with a little bit of sea salt flakes to your liking. During this process, we're not cooking the chicken the whole way through. This is just going to add colour and flavour, which will also leave behind flavour in the pan, ready for the next ingredients to come along and pick it up like a good night out. Anyway, once that's done, this can then be removed and placed into a bowl, doing the same with the other batch, unless of course you have some sort of huge pan. Let's then add in another 1 tablespoon or 25 grams of coconut oil, allowing it to melt, add in the thinly sliced onion as well as the garlic and ginger paste, which will make this really floral, and then saute for 5 minutes, mixing it around regularly. Whilst this is sauteing, these ingredients will start to extract moisture, which will act as a deglazer and start picking up the left behind chicken flavour on the bottom of the pan, resulting in great colour and of course great flavour. Also, if the pan does happen to get a little bit dark, depending on the material yours is, you can add in a splash of water or stock, which will help sort things out for you. With that done, add in the curry powder, leaving not a single speck behind, and continue sauteing and toasting for 45 seconds, mixing the whole time to allow the spice mix to work its magic into the onion, garlic and ginger. Next is to add in 800 grams or 1.7 pounds of diced or crushed tomatoes, which is the base for our sauce. Also adding in a splash of water or stock to rinse out the can, and then we can add in sea salt flakes to taste. Get back in there again and give this all a big mix through until the tomato base has picked up the flavour foundation, or in other words, just allow those flavours to become friends. We can then reintroduce the chicken thigh along with the resting juices for more flavour, and then mix this through really well, getting it all saucy. It also doesn't matter if your thighs are sticking out a little bit, they'll shrink throughout the cooking process. Allow this to come to a boil, then reduce the heat to low and simmer for 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. Now in the meantime, we can do our rice, so place a large saucepan over high heat and add in 300 grams or 10.5 ounces of washed basmati rice, 600 milliliters or 600 grams of cold water, which is a 2-to-1 ratio, and salt to taste, which the focus decided to dance to. Give it a stir and bring it to a boil, then place on a lid or foil if you don't have one, reduce the heat to low and cook for 14 minutes undisturbed, and after 14 minutes turn it off the heat, leave the lid on for 4 minutes, then remove the lid and use a spatula or fork to fluff this up, which will leave us with this perfect soft and fluffy rice. Going back to the curry, which now has been doing its thing for the past 30 minutes, just give it a quick mix through to allow those flavours to keep developing, then add in 1 cup or 250 milliliters of coconut milk to add a nice floral flavour and aroma, as well as a creamy texture, and mix this through well until combined. Once mixed, give it a quick taste and adjust seasoning levels to your taste, and I'm only adding in salt, which you'd probably be surprised to not see me use cracked black pepper, but by all means use it if you wanted to. Just do what you prefer, and once that's done, remove it from the stovetop. Serving and portioning is really simple. Divide and add the rice to 5 meal prep containers, then come through and do the same with the curry. By all means, you can weigh it out if you want to, but if it's being evenly divided, it doesn't really matter, unless of course it's being eaten by multiple people. This is optional, but garnish with coriander or cilantro, as well as some crushed cashews, which are also optional, leaving us with this beautiful and delicious Sri Lankan chicken curry that can be left to slightly cool. Place on the lids and store in the fridge for up to 5 days and in the freezer for up to 6 months. As promised, here is the nutrition card for the whole per portion dish, rice included, and reheat in a pan or microwave until hot throughout, and we can then dig in.
There's so much flavour going on there. All those spices in that sauce taste absolutely fantastic, and it's a really great blend. And that sauce is really thick, but not too thick to the point where it's like over the top. Perfect consistency, absolutely fantastic dish, and I really hope you enjoy it.